Chismo Eugene. Welcome to another video from Exit Strategy. Please like, subscribe, and share the videos if you find that they are helpful to you or you think someone else may be able to benefit from it. I want to discuss with you guys tonight about how the disabled narcissist goes under the radar. That's right, the disabled or the narcissist with a disability goes under the radar. First of all, being human and having the empathy as we do in life, we are taught to be mindful of people who are less fortunate, people who are disabled, handicapped, if you will. They don't use that word anymore, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. That may have some mental health issues or whatnot. But I want to speak directly to the disabled narcissists, wherever they be. And I'm trying to show you where we need to be a little more critical of those who we deem disabled. And in this particular video, I want to hone in on, let's say, someone who has an ailment where they're in a wheelchair. They may be in a wheelchair for life. They may have a cane. They may walk on a crutch for the rest of their life because they may have had a hip replacement. This is the disabilities that I'm really trying to capture. I'm not really talking about a mental health disability per se. I'm here to show you where we need to scrutinize more of these people who go under the radar of disability. Because we know a narcissist is very ungrateful, very unkind. They're very domineering. They're very demanding. And there's a lot of push-pull goes on with narcissists in general. And there's no exception with ones who are in wheelchairs or wheelchair-bound or some other form of handicap, as I just described. Now, you will find this in some of your family structures. Now, you've probably invested in these individuals for many, many years. You feel compelled to help them because you feel like no one else will help them. No one else is reaching out to lend them a hand. But if you look closely, are these people very ungrateful? Are they very entitled? Is there a lot of push-pull going on? And I'll show you what that looks like. They'll pretend or give you the impression that they don't need any help. But at the same time, when you retreat or you pull back, then you get called every name in the book. You are smeared. Your name is ran through the mud because they're telling people that you have left them there to die or whatever. So it's an intricate thing, but it's not that complex. If you're an awakened empath or a chosen one, we must disconnect with the energy vampire that is going under the radar and under the disguise of being handicapped or disabled. Because I've noticed in some family units that this is going on, which is why I want to speak to this. These individuals are just as debilitating to your life and your livelihood as a narcissist who is able-bodied and able to walk around with no disabilities. What happens is our empathy overrides our common sense and common logic. It overrides and it trumps and it actually helps us to dismiss our critical thinking. And before you know it, you look back, you got 10, 15, 20 years that you've invested and you've put your life on hold to a large degree because you felt an obligation to this individual, because you felt, like I said before, they gave you the impression that if you didn't help them, no one would. Now, this is something that no one will really speak about, but as I talk to you, there is someone who's living this. It's not enough you've come out of that narcissistic abusive relationship or marriage with a husband or a wife, but looking into your family unit, you've dealt with someone like this most of your life. You've been there for them. You've helped them in many ways. You went over and beyond. You put your obligations, your priorities on hold just to help them and to see them through. Then you get an overwhelming amount of ungratefulness, no gratitude, no thankfulness from these people. You must disengage. You must disengage for your own health and welfare. Because these people, these disabled narcissists, they're just as deadly as ones who are not disabled. Their smear is just as diabolical. They'll sit around and they'll sponge off of different kind of information, and they're slanderous. They are slanderous. All they do is sit around in a wheelchair all day and observe and play poor me, poor me. Now there's exceptions to the rule. There's exceptions to this situation I'm talking about, but we're talking exclusively, whereas there are narcissists that are under the radar of and under the disguise of disabilities. Look at the behavior. Think back, do a critical thought process of how this person has treated you. Because they're disabled and they're seemingly have a less, they've had an unfortunate situation that happened to them. Well, we've had an unfortunate situation that happened to us. We're not running around berating people and treating people like a doormat. Understand the narcissist personality disorder is the same. Doesn't matter if they're in a wheelchair, they're eating through a tube or whatnot. You must understand, because these people will inflict untold amounts of psychological damage to you. They'll have you so offbeat and off balance till you won't recognize what your priorities are in life anymore, because they'll be delved down into doing for them, being their servant, and this is not okay. I really wanted to capture that because I see this happening in a few instances with a few people that are, that I'm in contact with and I deal with on a regular basis, and in a big way I can't tell them what I see and what I know, because you all know when we see these type of things, it is very, very unfortunate that we cannot connect with people in the way that we would like to. We have to sort of give them bits and pieces without being offensive, without pushing too hard, without causing them to have animosity, and overall not losing the fight that we're out here to do. We're trying to fight for the common good of man. We're trying to fight for the sanity of man and woman. We're trying to fight for your livelihood. It was God-given, and only God can take that away. So I want you guys to just be mindful. Look into these situations. Be very thorough. Do some critical thinking, and do some casual observing, and just take these things in totality and look at how consistent this pattern is, and determine whether you're dealing with a narcissist who just happens to be disabled. Because it's not okay for anyone to treat you like a second-class citizen, handicapped or not, disabled or not. There's no justification. There's no passes. That being said, bless.